Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Semester 3, paper number 10 of MA English Part 2, titled as the Fundamentals of English Language and Literature Teaching. In today's video, we shall cover the topic of importance of English in India. The political and scientific thought in India has been organized for historical reasons by the English language. The 200 years association of the British with the Indians and their establishing English institutions as a privilege in India could be the most potent reasons for this. It is through the English language that the Indians shared the wisdom of the West, and the West has shared the Indian intellectual and spiritual heritage. The works of Shakespeare, Milton, Bertrand Russell, J.S. Mill, Carlyle, Ruskin, Abraham Lincoln, and others are enjoyed by the Indians. And at the same time, it is through this language that the Indian Vedic and Upanishadic knowledge, along with the epics like Ramayana and the Mahabharata, have become world renowned. The Indian prodigies like Ramanujan, J.C. Bose, C.V. Raman, and Bhapa got world recognition only because of the exchange of the knowledge with English. Let us today understand the importance of English under the following heads. Number one, English is an international language. English is the first language in UK, USA, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Nearly 250 million people inhabit in these countries. English is a second language in India, Africa, Russia, France, and other countries. More than 100 million people in these countries speak English. English is the language which is spoken by most of the peoples in the world, next only to Chinese. Whereas the Chinese language is spoken only in China, English is spoken all across the world. In fact, there is no country in the world today where a speaker of English cannot be understood. English is the language of international political bodies. It is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations Organization. It is the link language of the Commonwealth countries as well. It is the language of international trade, industry, and commercial correspondence among various nations. It also is the language of cultural give and take, and it is in fact the most potent repository of the world culture. English as medium of expression is used in 75% of the world mail, 50% of world newspapers, over 60% of the world's radio and television channels, and more than 50% of the world's scientific and technical periodicals. It is this language that has opened worldwide exchange of teachers and students. As an international language, English has created better understanding of the world and opened the global employment opportunities. The second point is English as a window on the world. Yes, English has been rightly described as the window to the rapid progress of technology and scientific knowledge that is constantly taking place in the world. It has been described as the pipeline for the stream of knowledge in all branches of learning. Hence, English is a window through which one is able to see the scientific, technological, agricultural, commercial, and literary developments taking place in the world. F.G. French opines, as anyone who can read English can keep in touch with the entire world without leaving his or her home. Thus, English is the means to prevent a nation's isolation into the world. All regional languages must be developed and promoted, but at the same time, English should never be discarded in the Indian education system or in the country. Third point is English as a library language. English is a rich storehouse of knowledge. Most of this knowledge is not yet available in Indian languages. It is in this context that the role of English as a library language becomes important in India. Even though some universities have shifted to the regional languages to teach humanities, it definitely would take some time to extend the step to take courses in science, law, medicine, engineering, or agriculture. So English could play a vital role in higher education as an important library language. The Kothari Commission emphasizes that no student should be considered as qualified for a degree or a master's degree in particular unless he or she has acquired a reasonable proficiency in English. The fact of this matter is that it is very difficult for a person to be a specialist in any line unless he or she is proficient in English language. Thus, the knowledge is indispensable and English becomes an important library language. The fourth point that establishes the importance of English in India is English as a link language. It is a link language in India over the recent years. It is the only language which is understood by the educated people all over the country. The trade correspondence from one state to another is mostly conducted in English. There will be no dialogue between persons from different states if those persons are ignorant of English. In the struggle for independence, English is a unifying factor that played a significant role in bringing that national leaders from different regions of the country on one platform. Thus, it is an important link language within the country as well. The fifth point of importance of English in India is English is an IT and BT language. In today's postmodern age of liberalization, globalization, and privatization, the world is dominant by information technology and biotechnology. English is the language of computers and all related software. Along with information technology, biotechnology is the other field that has a great demand and tremendous potential for research and knowledge in the 21st century. Obviously, both these recent fields are in English as it stands today. Thus, English is an international, intranational language which is the key for effective communication, trade, commerce, science and technology across the world today. That is the major reason why English language has become an integral part of Indian education system. As Jawaharlal Nehru rightly said, English is our major window on the world. F.G. French opines, anyone who can read English can keep in touch with the whole world and without leaving his or her own home. Thank you very much for watching this video. In this video, we understood the importance of English in the present scenario of the world in general and India in particular. Stay tuned for the next video.